What is going on, everybody? This is Ryan Leary and William Tincup, and you are listening to the BARF. William, it's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute.
It has been. It feels like 6 months. We just took a break, end of year, took a break, relaxed, and then one of us, not me, decided to go on a 30-day vacation.
Yeah.
And so, how was your vacation, by the way? Did you enjoy that?
First of all, everything that you've heard about Fiji is absolutely correct. It is as beautiful as people talk about. The flight there, you got to go through Hawaii. There's no direct to Fiji, but yeah, Fiji's beautiful, especially this time of year.
30 days,
high season.
Man. 30 days.
Yeah.
So, it's good to have you back.
100%.
Yeah. No Fiji, but you are now breathing and healthy and alive.
Yeah.
We're good.
I'm reminded of something my mother used to say all the time to me, that you never know what the other person's going through.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going through something,
right?
Whether it be drama or trauma, a messy divorce, their car got stolen. Like there's some chaos.
Something, yeah.
There's something going on. I went through a health scare. I guess thankfully, I've been through a health scare before, so it wasn't as traumatic. It was more blocking and tackling.
Right. So you weren't in Fiji?
No. Or the Maldives. No. I didn't do that as well. Or Bali.
But you're back and healthy.
Yeah. Back, healthy, and caught up, which I think is the most important thing. Is when you have a two-person firm like we do with work to find, it's not a question of whether or not the other person can do the work. We're maxed out with the work that we're already trying to do, plus trying to do other stuff and adding to it. So when one of us is gone, it really is a stressor to an organization. So,
I don't know. I enjoyed it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
just kidding.
I'm kidding. There's parts that are enjoyable about your job that I'd like to do for a couple days, right? And there's parts of the job that I do that are enjoyable. And then there's a bunch of parts that aren't. A lot of technical stuff.
This is being recorded. And so I'm going to play this back to you at one point and say, well, you said. So, all right.
Like, I like sales. I like talking to prospects and giving them ideas. I don't like proposals.
Yeah, you just don't. You're not allowed to talk to any of our sponsors that we work with.
I've told you this. Ryan won't let me talk to you.
No,
I can't talk to you right now.
So for all the sponsors that don't know William, this is him. You'll never know him. You'll never talk with him. All right,
he's aloof.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to talk about, but we're gonna keep it short. We're not gonna go back and get 30 days of content, which I probably could have done an episode or two without you. And brought on a guest.
It's not near as fun.
It's not. I mean, I went through the prospects, and I'm like, we'll wait. We'll wait.
So something that's recently been on my mind is what in accounting is called opportunity cost, and basically how it translates to recruiting and HR is the opportunity cost of a person not being there and doing their job. So you take a salesperson. For every day that salesperson's seat is open, that's sales lost.
Sure.
But you'll never be able to recover those sales.
Right.
You can recover, like other people can sell more, but that person's seat, every day left empty, that's money that will never be back. That's true of every position.
Sure. Development and product push, everything. Yeah.
Everything, marketing, everything you can. So it's like we talk a lot about the historical metrics of recruiting, time to fill, and even some of the newer things like response times. But I don't think there's enough discourse talking about, especially with business leaders, because business leaders, executives, they understand, especially your CFO, they understand opportunity cost. So if we talk about opportunity cost instead of talking about time to fill, which is not something they understand. Inherently, they're like, I don't care or, give a shit about that. But if we were to put the business case in front of them, it's like, hey, the opportunity cost for not having, an ass in a chair or a butt in a bum
Hmm.
in the seat. Here's what that looks like. Here's the math. I think we'd get their attention, which would help fuel investment in process and people and technology in, I think, all the kind of cool stuff that we want to do with AI, I
Hmm.
think can be funded if we use different language with
Yeah,
this with the other executives. What's your
it's a lot of there's a lot of I don't think hiring teams don't pay attention to this. The leadership
right,
does.
right,
The leadership will pay attention. I mean, line managers probably not, right? They're just
right?
more around what's not necessarily opportunity cost, but more about production and output. Like, yeah, I can't get, which obviously relates to and ends up where we're talking. However, the the at least in my experience, hiring managers are really concerned with, does this person have the skill to do the job that I need them to do? Are they going
Right.
to fit on the team? Do they hit the right vibe? Do they have the right culture? All this stuff that we've done for decades. But they very rarely, in any of the conversations I have, relate it back to true opportunity cost, right? Now,
Right.
leadership will,
Yeah.
right? And leadership looks at that. I can remember, and this is years and years ago. This is back in, I'm going to say 2008, 2009. I was still working at Connexa at the time, and it was a Java shop, and we couldn't fill enough Java developers. We just
Yep.
couldn't do it. And I don't know that these numbers are true or not, but I could just remember Rudy running through the pit where all the recruiters were, screaming, not
Yeah.
in a bad way, but like he was
Yeah. Yeah.
eccentric, right?
Hype.
Like, what are you
Yeah.
guys doing? Like he would be that type of guy. But we couldn't fill these positions. And the numbers that he gave, which could have been bogus, was $4 million a month in bookings because we couldn't
Wow.
build and push the product, right?
Right. Right.
Opportunity cost. Now,
Right.
I'm guessing it was a little
It doesn't matter.
exaggerated, maybe,
It
maybe
doesn't
not,
matter.
but the
The
idea.
CFO will dissect the math and they'll push you on the math. But if you can back up the math, it's like back when we were in school and we had to show our work.
Yeah, they
You
don't
had
do
to
that
show your
anymore.
work. No, they don't do that anymore.
Mm-mm.
But you had to show how you got to the expression. If we can show the math and say, listen, this is a reasonable, per day, per week, per month, etc. So the longer these things take, well, why does it take so long? Because we're using outdated technology.
Hmm.
Because our process is wrong. Because we don't have the right people in the right place.
Right.
And here's why we're missing the person that does this. Or in the world of AI, we don't have a generative, we haven't built an agentic agent that can do this piece.
Hmm.
And we need, $150,000 to have that built.
Yeah.
And now if we do that, we can cut the opportunity cost to this. Now, I think to me, it's all speaking their language. Like that's really where the thing came from. Is like if you're trying to get something done, if you're trying to force them to use your language, you're never going to get that done.
Yeah.
You got to use their language.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
finance is basically runs the company.
Yeah.
We would never say that publicly to CEOs or presidents or anything like that, but really all money goes through the CFO. So you got to speak their language, and that's really where that came from.
Yeah. All right, William, you know what that sound means? It is time for the iSolved Minute, brought to you by our friends at iSolved, which you are wearing a beautiful shirt that looks awful on me. I mean, I love the color. It just doesn't work on this body.
I'm not going to touch that.
However, all right, so iSolved Minute. Let me read this off to you. I want to get your take on this. 48% of HR leaders say they are dealing with a self inflicted skills gap, often caused by not adopting quickly enough to industry shifts and technological advancements. What do you feel when I say that?
So first of all, they're lying. That number's 100%. And what do you consider things that you can't avoid in life? Two things. It's very obvious. What are you, Ryan, Leary? Two things that you just can't avoid? It's going to happen.
Death and taxes.
And skills gaps.
And skills gap. All right. So I'm in the
S-
wrong area. All right, good.
No,
Got you.
you got
Skills
death,
gap.
you got taxes, and skills gaps. We've now moved to a moment in life where, because of AI and because of the innovation that happens as rapid as it does, you're never going to have the skills that you need. So you hire people that are highly flexible, that can deal with ambiguity, they love change, etc. And you give them the skills. It's almost like just in time. I don't know if you studied manufacturing, but
Yeah, sure.
JIT,
Hmm.
these are JIT micro skills, and you give them the skills that they need that day. And then the next day or the next week or whatever the bid is, or after the project, they need different skills. We need to stop thinking about skills gap and talking about skills gap in the way that we talked about it 3 or 4 years ago, because you're never going. It's a destination you'll never reach.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because at least for me, I feel like this is the same argument or debate we've had for ever since I've been in the space. It skills gap in 2002, 2003, same idea as it is today. It's just different and quicker, I think, today because of where we are, and that's okay. But I agree. I think we're now hiring for just in time skills, skills that you need for today,
Yeah,
micro skills that can be upskilled or learned very quickly with
I
leveraging the
I,
ability to
I
leverage the
think you
technology.
hire based on that person's ability to adopt new
Yeah,
things, whatever the new
yeah,
things are. And so people that don't like change. So now you get back to some really interesting assessments, not
mm-hmm.
skills assessments per se, but personality assessments and behavioral
Right.
assessments like, do you like change? Do you thrive in a changing environment? Job description says your job will change every 3 days.
Right.
Does that terrify you or does that excite you? If it terrifies you, don't apply, because we'll never be able to fix the skills gaps with a person that can't accept change or doesn't thrive in a changing environment.
Right. There you go. The I solve minute. All right, let me ask you a question. Are companies responsible for employee behavior? Just yes or no.
Yeah, just real quickly, at work or off work?
Good point. At work, let's start there.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, they're at work, they clock out, they leave work, and they come back into the place of business.
Well, if it's in the business, they're responsible. Period. I mean, that's kind of safety 101. Well, okay, so they're not clocked back in, but they're on prem.
They're on prem, yeah.
You're still responsible.
All right. So,
You're still responsible. I mean, from a safety perspective,
mm,
no
so,
doubt. Like
so
your forklift
you would
operator
lose.
left, clocked out, great, came back in and joy rode a forklift and tore down a bunch of things and killed a bunch of people. You're still responsible.
So you would lose that case in court. And let me tell you, Waffle House was found not liable for a worker who stabbed a customer in the face. Like
Nice.
right in the face.
I think I've been to this Waffle House.
There, it's like every Waffle
Every
House.
Waffle House.
It's like every time I go to a Waffle House,
Same bit.
I'm sitting there and I'm like
Spattered,
something.
smattered, covered, and smothered, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
okay.
smothered and
Yeah.
covered. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just when I sit there, first of all, I think like, damn, these seats are small. Second, I think something is going to happen. Like at one point, something will happen at Waffle House.
Well, back in the day, it would be Waffle House was a go-to after a lot of alcohol. So after the clubs or after other types of clubs and stuff like that. That was your before you go home. I gotta get some food.
Well, for you because
Yeah.
we don't have them up here. It is very far and few
Oh, no
between.
shit.
And so when
Oh
we
yeah.
see them, it's like, oh, let's go to Waffle House, right? But
Oh
anyway,
no,
all
no,
right.
we have been there.
So
You can throw a rock and hit a Waffle House in Texas.
yeah, no. So all right. So here's the deal. Employee and a customer got into a verbal argument inside of Waffle House. Inside, employee was working. It escalated really quickly. The employee steps away and leaves the store. He's clocked out at this point. Leaves the store, comes back in with a knife, and stabs the customer in the face. So,
I still think, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see that on appeal because
yeah, I don't know, but
I think you're still responsible on some level, your employee at your
yeah.
place.
Well, so here's how the court ruled. The court ruled that the court said that this was a personal attack that wasn't part of his job, and that there were no prior behavior that suggested something extreme like this would happen. So they ruled that it wasn't reasonably foreseeable. I don't know,
This
man.
is the argument against second chance hiring.
Well, and the person did have a prior record, right? So
Yeah,
he did have a prior
duh,
record.
duh. You Waffle House employee? Come now.
Yeah,
That's
you got a record, right?
straight out of
So
prison.
yeah, so I was thinking, so they went through a background check. I'm pretty sure they
Right.
went through, and then they knew prior record, all
Check
this
the
stuff.
box. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
However, in full disclosure, Fama is a partner of ours, right? They are a sponsor of the show, and but I wonder if they have something like a Fama. And does something like a Fama change that, where they can see and track what employees are saying? Like if they're really super aggressive online, like, all right,
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
this
yeah.
might
Yeah,
boil
yeah.
over.
All the people at Verizon should die. It's like,
Yeah,
nah, come on
yeah,
now. Back off of
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Ease back, Jimmy.
yeah.
Ease
I,
back.
don't- I was just
Go
thinking,
go flip the burgers.
yeah. So I was thinking the traditional background checks are rough, right? And so and not making a commercial for Fama, but is this an actual use case where maybe something like this prevented this?
Bad actors do bad things. News at 11. And we're human beings, Cain and Abel. You go back to the history of time, and human beings do really, really fucked up shit to each other. So we don't really know what was said or what was done or how it got to that place. But the guy was working and then left and then came back. My guess is there was probably a reason.
Probably. I mean,
You know,
enough that he stabbed them in the face.
I'm not saying he's guilty or
Yeah.
she is
They're
guilty.
both males. Both males. Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
it's one of those bits.
Yeah.
You
I
went
mean,
out to your car. That's where you went. You went out to your car. You went out to your glove box, and you came back in. Those are all choices. Now they're individual choices. I just think the mess is made when it's on prem. That's the mess. Even if he never worked that day, like just was off that week or that day or whatever, but it happened at their location and he was an employee, there's got to be some culpability there for me.
I don't know. I mean, we did. Was it 2 years ago? We did the misconduct deal at
Oh yeah,
HR Tech.
yeah,
Was that a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
years ago? We
There's some stories.
we heard some
Woo!
stories. We should probably pull those out and see what those are. And
Those
I,
are
I
those
love
are
it. Like
evergreen.
like a Mystery Science 3000. Let's play those back and actually just react to them. We had it. There's a
There
couple on
was,
there.
I believe, there was a couple we couldn't publish. They were so wheels off.
There's one that we still have, and at one point in life, we
Yeah,
might we
just kind
might
of
publish it, and
drop that MP3.
yeah, we'll see if he's not good to us, wink wink, we might have to post it. So, all right, what do you got?
We'll go to a bunch of conferences this year, and last year we went to a bunch of conferences as well. What I like about AI and the marketing by vendors and the conversation or the level of discourse about AI is we're much further along than we were with SaaS by talking about adoption and consumption and usage and things like that. It took 20 something years to get people to really engage in an adoption story. How do you get people to adopt, your software, etc.? Bell rings, you sold it. That's fantastic. With on-prem, you didn't really care because you got paid either way. You sent them the disk, or you installed it on their
Send
their
him
is it
send him the book of this.
send them the book of this, install. You invoiced every month. If they used it, great. If they
Yeah.
didn't, have a nice day. SaaS a little bit different. in that it was a little bit easier to switch out, is a little bit easier to switch out. But I like the level of discourse that's happening at conference where people, vendors and practitioners are engaging in like, how do we actually get people to
Mhm.
use? Now, I think the next thing that I'm going to be looking for is, okay, when we say adoption of AI, so what's the definition? So
Yeah.
from a practitioner's perspective, global head of talent acquisition, our employees are using AI. What does that actually mean?
Hmm.
So I think there's needs to be more of it. We need to go deeper into that discussion to then start talking about what do you mean? Are they using AI 6 hours a day? Are they using
Right.
25 tools? Like, what are the definitions that
Yeah.
you're using? And then, kind of on a meta level, as a leader in both HR and recruiting, how do you know that they're using AI?
Right.
How do you know that they're actually using, whether or not they're using your tools or other tools, bring your own AI to work tools? How do you know?
Yeah.
And again, I think that's going to be a kind of a conversation that I think it's every 3 months that we're going to be in a cycle very soon, if not now,
Hmm.
where every 3 months you have to reinvent what your AI tech stack looks like. And I think that's daunting for practitioners to hear.
Hmm.
It's easy for me to say, but it's daunting for practitioners to hear
Hmm.
because they grew up, buy it, install it, adopt it, and then set it and forget it. AI is not that way. If you're using an AI tool now, there might be a better application of that tool or other tools
Yeah.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Well, and I think some of that's going to depend on the policy of the company and what they're using. If it's bring your own AI to work, sure, you're going to have 40 different tools in 40 different days. But if a company is using, specific software, the company, the software company is going to have to iterate all the time, right,
Right,
in order to
right.
maintain that. But they'll still use the same tool set. Now, I think where the challenge is going to be for me anyway, when I hear adoption now, I think what's different is not necessarily using it just to use
Right,
it.
right.
It's I think adoption in what we maybe looked at as what adoption was years ago is I think most everyone wants to use it now.
I can tell you back then the number one metric was hours in. So if it was a ATS, you could look at a recruiter and say how long were they logged in, and which is not a great statistic
No,
at all.
no, it's not. But I think now it's going to be. I think some of this is slightly different because AI is fun to use in most cases. It looks good. It's fun. It makes you feel as if you're being creative and doing something, even if you're not doing something. It actually feels like you're doing something productive, right? So you walk away feeling better about that. And I think so the employee's going to leverage this tech a lot more. I think where adoption, and this is really more, we talked about this outcomes and stuff like this, how successful is the actual usage of the tool. So if
Right,
it's, for example, on the sales side, let's say a sales team is using a sales AI for something, enhancing data and cold reach outs, and then follow ups and converting them into a scheduled call. Okay, well, if historically I was able to send 20 messages a day, now I'm sending 50 or 100 messages a day, but what's the conversion,
right.
right? So now
It gets into a productivity conversation real fast.
yeah, I don't need volume, and we all know this,
Right,
right? We don't need
right,
volume and quantity. We need the quality out of this. And so, if I'm converting, whatever, 10% of outreach into appointments, or let's just say 50%. Let's go crazy. 50% is converting into an actual call, but only 3% are quality calls. Is it worth using, right? So I think so that's not adoption, but it's I think how we're going to start to really look at
oh
things.
yeah.
So
It's the ground with AI, generative, agentic, whatever. the ground beneath us is shifting, but it's shifting faster than it did with SaaS. So SaaS, you could get your quarterly updates or your annual updates, whatever. This isn't that. And so I think it's a new mentality for practitioners that it's, again, unsettling. It's also exciting, to your point.
Yeah, I think it's reviving.
Can
It
be.
actually revives the workplace a bit right now.
I like that.
Yeah, it takes the honestly, I can see it taking those people who were on the way out because they were tired of doing the same old BS,
Right, right.
and now like, oh, okay, I've got 5 more years in me now because I can actually
Yeah,
do the stuff I've been
yeah,
complaining about.
yeah.
All right, so
It,
you ever hear of Lovable? I mean, the
um,
company Lovable. I mean, I'm lovable. The company.
yeah, yeah. I'm
So,
not. So,
all right, so you're gonna love this story. Um, and I'll probably say it, then I won't get to talk about it anymore because you're just going to take over. I'll let you do that because this is your lane. So, Lovable is a company. So it's a tech that lets you build apps and software just by telling it what to do. So it's a no code, no engineering team type thing. But tell it what you want. Like I want a customer portal that tracks orders and sends alerts for whatever. Like it'll then go and build that app. I'm sure there's a lot of,
yeah,
iterations you
yeah.
got to do and all
Right,
that
right, right,
stuff.
right, right.
However, they've added, I forget where I found this on TechCrunch, but I found it somewhere on LinkedIn. They've added $100 million in ARR in 1 month without adding any employees. Right? So they have 147, I believe it's 147 employees. So I graciously bring this to you, humbly bring this to you, because they're doing about $2.7 million per employee in revenue.
Yeah. I think this should terrify everyone in the right way to motivate them to be excited about the change that's happening in our world. Josh Akers posted on LinkedIn. I think it was last week, and he's in the compliance. Josh. He's in the compliance, the job world, etc. And his post was, "There's a job board that was just created for AI agents, meaning you can't apply as a human being. It only wants AI agent, agentic AI, to apply to jobs." So, again, not trying to scare anyone, but there's one part of your story is what Wall Street and money people are going to love. It's the revenue to employee ratio, which they've always wanted it to be higher, and now they found a way. Okay. The other part is finding a way to distinguish yourself from AI or leverage AI in such a way that makes you different.
Right.
Yeah, good
Do,
story.
what if you had to guess? What's the average revenue per employee for a regular SaaS company?
For a regular SaaS company, probably 50,000.
No, it's more than that. More than
Is
that.
it?
Two to
Okay.
300,000.
Yeah, that tracks because
Two
of
to three
benefit.
hundred
Yeah,
thousand.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So so now
I wasn't
the
thinking about salary and cost.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the projected by 20 there's 2030 or 35 somewhere within there was $2 million
Oh,
per
yeah.
employee. These
Well,
guys
think
are at
about what they're doing.
2.7 already.
That employee's managing 100 agents,
Maybe, but they're
and
at
they're doing the work
2.7.
that
Yeah.
was, they're not inputting into Salesforce.
No.
They're
No,
not
no, no.
importing into Monday. They're not doing like the things that humans do now.
Yeah.
They're not doing it. An agentic agent is doing that for them, which means
Yeah.
that they can manage more cross-functionally or within the function,
Yeah.
and so you need less people.
Yeah, we talked about this in terms of outcomes, right? How we're gonna we'll measure success in terms of outcomes, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Last year was this year is how to what is the outcome, and I think this is one of those situations where I really now I'm really starting to believe we're
Yeah.
we're not historically we scaled people, now we're scaling output,
Right.
and that's I think going to be the difference, and
It's a
exactly
huge,
what you're saying.
it's a huge change. Like
It is.
in Porter's strategic model, this is a major change
Yeah.
because you don't need the bodies. You don't need the brains. And again, like I was thinking about like some industries where this isn't going to be as much of a factor. Well, it's going to be a factor in every industry. You know, like I watched a bit on tequila harvesting the other night, and it's fascinating, but it's all manual. It ain't going to be all manual.
Right.
We just
Yeah.
fast forward. That's going to be a machine that does that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and people are out of jobs. And
Yeah.
again, that's terrifying, but it's also exciting. Getting back to your kind of point that you made before, you can look at that and you can get scared. It's like watching the news and going, I'm going to get scared. Or you can look at it and say, hey man, this creates new opportunities.
New opportunity. I mean, look, this is. I saw a meme the other day. It was school teachers. I think it was in the '60s, and it was school teachers protesting calculators in the classroom. Right?
Yeah,
They're
dude,
protesting, and they were outside picketing with signs and
oh
had
yeah,
"Show your work" and "Don't do this" and yada yada. And I'm thinking like, same shit, different decade.
it might have been gone by the time when you came along in school, but we diagrammed sentences. Did y'all diagram sentences where you went through? Here's the pronoun. Here's the adjective. Here's the verb. You drew it out like you with lines and stuff like that. Yeah, my kids. I brought that up to Henry and Van. They're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, and I pulled up an image of it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't."
Like we just write. Yeah. No, and the writing is awful today. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm just like, yeah, like some of these kids that take creative writing and I'm like, this
Mm.
is this is
You need
bad.
to
Like
go
I'm not a
back.
great
You need
writer.
to go back.
Yeah.
Repeat, repeat. I repeated to the fourth grade
Yeah.
because I came out of parochial school and went into public school. And ironically, at that time in that school, or those schools, my parochial school was behind. And so when I got to fourth grade, I'm like, what? And they're speaking Latin. I have no idea what they're talking about. And I loved my teacher, Miss Sanford. Got to the end of the deal. My mom and dad took me to the Dallas Zoo, and they're like, "Hey, the teachers are telling us that you're probably not prepared to go to the fifth grade." And like we're walking around looking at elephants and rhinos, and I got cotton candy. Like I don't give a shit. And so they're like, "Hey, you're going to repeat the fourth grade. So next year, you're just going to go back to the same grade. You'll have a
Yeah.
different teacher."
Yeah. You didn't
But
fail, but
yeah. You didn't fail. They were very keen. I
yeah.
mean,
They
even
think
though
you're
my mother
super
and father
bright.
would have said that to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they didn't. They were just like, "Hey, listen, it's just you came out of school system and went into a different school system, and then they're all different."
Yeah. I think the challenge I was you were just so bright that you were
Yeah.
overlooking the
Well,
basics.
that actually happened more in middle school because I got suspended a lot in middle school. So sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, I had to do summer schools for 4 years in a row because
Good for you.
I got to a point where I would instigate fights with teachers. Arguments, not fights, but arguments. They'd say something, I'd be like, yeah, no. And then like that just started a bit. And other types of things, drugs and guns and other types of things. So like I got in trouble for a lot of shit. But by the time I got to high school, I knew how the game was played, and I didn't get in trouble. It's not that I didn't do anything.
You just
I did far more
mm-hmm.
worse shit in high school. Never got caught.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. This is, dude, first day back in 30 days. Good.
Fiji,
Like
baby.
you feel good? We ready to knock the
Passion
dust off
fruit.
now and get moving?
Passion fruit. Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. We will see you next time.